there, it's Polly here. Yay! Haha. With the intrepid Mr. Snoots. And he's brought along some help, you know, in case he needs a Thagomizer. So, I was sent a book by a publisher, and they're great guys. So, this is by the chaps that do Chivalry and Sorcery, one of my favourite games as a teenager. But this is Vis Imperium Victoriana. Now, it's quite a slim little game, but it's actually a really cool one. And it's interesting. So, all right, to reel the Wayback Machine. In the dark, misty past, particularly in the 19th century, and really through to sort of maybe, say, the 1930s, 1940s, one of the main genres of adventure fiction was colonial adventure. Not science fiction, not really spies. It was, two-fisted adventure on the northwest frontier, beating some sort of perfidious, evil Russian agents that are trying to, stir up trouble in Afghanistan. Having to deal with evil Chinese warlords, and obviously foreigners are rotten, and Westerners are fine. Well, British Westerners are fine, or a few American ones, and the more further east you get, the worse they are. So this stuff was racist AF, appalling. But it is worth celebrating, sort of as an adventure genre, particularly since it's died out. But if you find old movies, Gunga Din, Lives of Bengal Lancer, all these sorts of things, these are all in that genre. So the publisher, as you can see, is faced by a slightly difficult problem, how to do this and not be racist AF. And they've done it. They've done a good job. So, as you can see, it's a pretty slim volume. And they have used, effectively, some of the core of Chivalry and Sorcery as their jumping off point. So, you've got a slew of characteristics. They've kept this game very simple and very approachable. So, what you're doing is picking a character that operates in that kind of, what would you say, 1870s through to maybe 1890s period. I'll just double check for you. Yep. So this is in fact the second edition, and they do say the first edition they stuck very, very closely to the original material, and therefore it did have some kind of racisty overtones, but they've kind of fixed that in this version. What do we got? So we got strength, constitution, agility, intelligence, wisdom. Oh, how I hate wisdom as a characteristic. But anyway, discipline, which is kind of self-discipline and stiff upper lipishness. Appearance, bardic voice, which is one from Chivalry and Sorcery, how beautiful one's voice is. And piety, which is, again, it's a bit of I find it a slightly odd choice given this setting, but, fine. Mazel tov. They've decided that maybe umpires might want magic to be in the setting, or religion, so perhaps it'll be a factor. So what you're doing is you're just rolling a d10 for each of these. You can roll 9 times and place them where you feel, but 1 to 10 is the bandwidth. What do we got then? Yep. Right, so then you get your social background, and your social and your background will give you bonuses to characteristics, and it will give you some basic skills. You then pick your vocation, which gives you a slew of other basic skills, and it will give you some skill points to spend. There's a big list of skills and so on. You can spend them. They're fairly simple. Again, this isn't a game that's worried about thousands of nuances, but there is an excellent slew of Victorian intellectual pursuits and laws, and there's a good list of different vocations because of the period. You might be a soldier of fortune, you might be a tutor or a governess that's somehow thrown into these kind of awful conundrums. You could be a politico, or you could be a marine or a sailor, or who knows, you could just be off seeking the source of the Nile. you're rolling d20s to succeed, and effectively what you're doing is you are rolling, looking for a 10 or higher, and you're adding in your skills, and you're adding in your bonuses for the characteristics. So you can have, what is it? Yeah, there you go. So the base attribute plus the skill level minus a difficulty factor, you've got to make the roll. So straight d20, and they've got a damage system, which is you're rolling for damage, adding in strength. Armor is subtracting from damage. There's not that much armor used, but bafflingly they have put everything in there from plate armor and chain and so on. You don't get many Victorian adventurers running around wearing a set of chainmail, mostly because bullets go clean through it. But the option is certainly there. And they've made no assumptions or dictations about what physical race you are or how that disadvantages you, and they are trying to gently steer you into maybe not making that a heavy factor in your gaming. It wrecks the fun. There's then some nice little guides to what you can do with the genre, because, all right, there's out and out colonial adventure, and they've got lots of adventure seeds and sample adventures here and lots of write-ups on it. But colonial adventures can be exploring, they can be searching, e.g., Dr. Livingstone, I presume, trying to find that missing person. They can be spy mysteries and so on. Here you are on the frontier, and somehow the Naringi Berbers are stealing our shipments of bassoons. So there's a lot of kind of dagger in the back, evil-doing kind of mutiny plots, or mysterious mullahs rising, people with magical powers, and this is why they've kept the magic in there. What if you do something? What if you're feeling a little bit Indiana Jonesy, and yeah, there is an evil cult, but someone actually does have magical powers that you've got to deal with. So they have put in rules for resisting and what kind of powers they've got. But they also say Victorian science fiction is actually an extension of this colonial genre. If you have a look at things like John Carter of Mars, what is it? Sterling white chap goes to a place. First off, you end up with these green wallers. Hearts of gold, really, except, they're pretty barbarous, and they just don't really know our values. But once you teach them our values, they see the error of their ways, and they're really quite decent chaps. That's as colonial as you get. So they're saying it can go from perfectly ordinary. We're looking for the source of the Nile, or we're trying to find out how this new terrible drug is somehow filtering down through the trade routes from some strange kingdom. It can be King Solomon's mines. It can be looking for that lost city in Tibet. All those sorts of things, or it can be science fiction, and it can also be out and out mystery. It can be suddenly you find the way into the Hollow Earth, or you find the mysterious kingdom of Shangri-La, and you find the lost world, dinosaurs. Running from the T-Rex, careful which swimming hole you choose to leap into. All that is there as part of this genre. So, and I think that's a great little offering for like a little book. Oh, by the way, this is what happens when you take a book to the tropics. This was in Bali with me, and just it wasn't even raining. It was just the heat. And like the 100% humidity air just made it go. So yes, I do have to iron it out yet again. So anyway, it gives you entire universes of adventure in a really compact little package. Love it. Now, the other thing that they've done is they've brought out an adventure book. What is this one? A Phantasmagorical Voyage of Discovery. And this is a voyage to the lost land of High Brazil. So it's that story where someone has found the ancient artifact and so on, which seems to imply that there was this lost world of High Brazil, which is somehow only reachable through mysterious processes of travel, and the artifact allows you to do it. So, off goes the ship. At certain compass points, you have to face in certain ways and activate these devices in a certain way. on it goes. And of course, the inevitable storm happens, and you end up washed up on a strange lost world with its own weird lost civilizations and its own magic and mysteries. So, you know, again, a really good door opening up into fantastic worlds of adventure. So look, this is a really terrific little offering. It's an exercise in really compact game design. Character creation that opens up as many windows for choice and nuance as possible, but in using essentially minimum page count in which to do it. Lots of seeds as they tell you what kind of adventures you can put people into, and it's really good at kind of just in a few pages firing you up with ideas that you could draw your characters into. And as an extra bonus, they've done a little campaign as well. So I really like this as a piece of work. I think this is terrific work. So thanks for sending that to me, because frankly I wouldn't have known it existed unless the publishers had sent it to me, just because I'm a CNS fan. You know, they just sort of like, hey, have you seen this? So check it out, particularly if you're a bit of a fan of things like, I don't know, Gunga Din, Zulu, Lost Horizons, The Lost World, you know, all those kind of adventures. Even King Kong is really sort of in this sort of genre. Yeah, check this one out. Vis Imperium Victoriana. A great little piece of work. So anyway, that was my surprise for the week. So do check it out. Do please hit like and subscribe on the channel if you have not. Do check out my Patreon. I stumble forward with this using the Patreon funds to get material to review for you guys. Yeah, so the Patreon essentially helps keep us going. We're getting close to 400 videos on this, so wow, this has been quite a journey on the channel. So anyway, cheers everybody, and Mr. Snoots and I and his little green friend, we'll see you guys anon. Cheers everybody, bye. Yeah. Black plum wine.